Well, Vladimir Putin has claimed that Russian forces have taken control not only of Pokrovsk, but also of Vovchansk and Kupiansk, two cities, or small cities, if you like, in Kharkiv region, and that they're on the way to taking control of Huliai-Pole. He uses the word liberating for all of these places and also refers to them by their Russian names. And all of them, the Ukrainian side would deny that the Russians have fully taken control of them. Andriy Kovalenko from the Center for Countering Disinformation at Ukraine's National Security Council says that this is a cognitive show. That was the expression he used, meaning that the Russians are making these declarations at this particular time, of course, because Steve Witkoff is heading to Moscow, and it's in order to create the impression that the Russians are making extremely impressive progress. In reality, what the Ukrainians say and what is corroborated by videos that you can see online, fighting for all of those towns is still ongoing. In the case of Pokrovsk, it's clear that the Russians control the larger part of it. A significant part of the town still should be considered a grey zone. This is block by block fighting, where sometimes inside the same building there are both Russian forces and Ukrainian forces. It's also probably worth noting that while Pokrovsk was a very important logistics hub, it's not nearly as much used as a logistics hub as it was a few months ago after all the destruction that there has been there in the course of this battle. I don't think that the railway, for example, is usable at the current stage. So the Ukrainian army have already adapted, as it were, to life without Pokrovsk, even if they haven't yet fully lost control of the town.
Meanwhile, Gulliver, you know, the talks continue. What's the latest you're hearing about that? What are people there expecting?
Well, I think that the Ukrainians are somewhat nervous every time Steve Witkoff goes to Moscow, because he tends to come back spouting Russian talking points. And judging by the way the negotiations went in Florida, with the Ukrainians pointedly thanking Jared Kushner and Marco Rubio, in whom I think they have more confidence, but not Steve Witkoff, who was the host, I don't think anything's changed on that score. But Steve Witkoff is going to present the modified plan that has been changed after talks with the Ukrainians. We understand, without having been giving any details, that it has been modified in such a way as to be somewhat more favorable to the Ukrainians, and therefore the expectation in Ukraine is that Vladimir Putin will simply regret it. The question that is harder to answer is how Steve Witkoff will respond to that and how he will then present the situation to Donald Trump.